Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terri Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Holeko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hello, Terri.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week we watched another episode of the sad West Wing Season 5, and our challenge round completed our USA Marathon. But first, we caught up with another episode of So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
So, I'm confused by the way this season is going. Now, I missed all the early parts, but I thought this was when we got it down to the bunch who was going forward. But then at the end, they're like, nope, we're going to eliminate 10 more of you next week. Which, right. I gotta hope that they sat all the kids down at the beginning of this and said, this is what's going to happen this season. Act surprised when we tell you this. Because otherwise, what a crappy thing to do. What the heck?
That was unexpected and not nice.
That seemed not gracious. It's just the whole thing is, it's kind of brutal, you know? There were a couple of those dismissals that seemed unnecessarily harsh. Do we really have to show these kids crying? Do we really? I mean, we bailed out on the child season, but some of these kids are not that far removed from that.
They're not.
You know, they select what they're going to show. And then, all right, we'll show that dance so that we can show us crushing that one's spirit. Excellent.
But not this other one.
Yes, the other ones. I mean, there's like, it reminds me of when I graduated high school. There were like 750 people in my graduating class. And I thought I was really popular. I thought I knew everybody. I thought I was connected, man. And, you know, the first 3 rows were the Honor Society. I knew everybody. And then after that, there was like an hour and a half of people I had never met in my life going up to get their diplomas. It's like, this is, you know, there's all these people that go by in a flash. Are we ever going to see them again? Or were they there just for fodder? Or were they not talked about so that later on we could meet them? How do they work this out?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this whole process of filming the auditions, which we skipped on purpose because we don't like that.
Yes.
And then this is basically just another 2 weeks, 3 weeks of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more like seeing inside how the sausage gets made, and I'm not sure we are up for that.
Yeah,
you know,
let's take a memo. In the future, let's just stop when they get down to their final group.
Yeah.
So that at least they get, I don't know. And the dances that they learn this time, I mean, you know how I feel about contemporary. That number that they did, you know, we saw over and over and over and over again, did nothing to change my feelings about contemporary. Right. What the heck was that? Flailing on the ground. I didn't think any of them looked good.
But then they had to, like, die gracefully at the end.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I wish they hadn't gone. It seemed unfair to go in groups of 3, because then you can really see who's not doing it well. When it's like 6 or 8, you have a little cover.
Somebody can hide in the back. I liked the big group number more.
Yes, I liked
more
that.
More fun to watch.
Man, could that have been more complicated? Okay, you're all doing this together, and then go into your little groups, and I'm going to give you some choreography, and then you're going to make up your own choreography. Can you have this in 15 minutes? I mean, these are kids. Come on.
It is true.
Oh,
yes.
Goodness. That seemed unnecessarily complex. And then, see, I thought that was going to be the point at which they were going to go down to 20. I thought, I mean, she said this is going to be very clear to everybody who can keep up, who can't keep up.
Right.
And then they still had to have the solos again at the end. And, I mean, I'm happy that ballroom dance guy who took his shirt off made it through, I guess, because otherwise that would have been just mean. You know, let's show his dance, and then let's tell him we thought it stunk. And that he seemed, that was what they said. They said, I thought that was desperate. Right. If they had sent him home on that note.
But then they keep saying over and over, this is, you know, you're dancing for your life. This is the solo that makes or breaks it. You know, they emphasize that constantly.
Yes.
And then they tell them they seem desperate. Like, that's not fair.
Yes. You mean I seemed like I was dancing for my life? Go figure.
Right, which is what you told me to do.
I mean, I agree that the taking off the shirt was a little weird, but I can see how you feel like I got to put something extra into this.
Yeah.
So the fact that they let him pass through made it seem a little less cruel, except that, you're probably going home next week. So we could let you through in the 20 because we know we're going to prune you out next week. So have fun, kid. He just looked like he just looked so sick to his stomach when he was talking afterwards. Like, I guess that was a bad idea and I'm never going to do that solo again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think what I'm learning is, number one, like I said, I don't need to see this part.
Right.
And number two, it's so much more fun when they have costumes and, choreography that is... You're not seeing them learn it. You're just seeing them do it.
That is much more fun. I felt bad for the one, I guess he was a tap dancer. I don't think I saw him actually tap dance at the beginning, but the really, really cheerful kid who really can't do all the soulful or tough-looking stuff. Eddie, I think was his name. Yeah. And as he's leaving, he's going, well, I guess I'll just go back and I'll try again harder. I'll come. I'm like, Eddie, just go be a great tap dancer. You really don't have to be able to do all the dances there are. You're terrific at what you do. Just go do that. The rest of the stuff is BS, you know? You're never going to have to be able to do all these styles again. It's okay to be great at one thing. If you don't have... I don't know.
Yes.
And then it was interesting with the in the Mandy Moore number, where each little group then did its own thing, and there's 12 contemporary kids, and there's a bunch of jazz kids, and there's 8 ballroom dancers, and there's 2 tap dancers.
Right.
It's I think they had a little bit of an unfair advantage. They're both very good, but the way the camera angles were on the larger groups, you couldn't really see anybody individually, but boy, you could see the 2 of them.
You could definitely see the tap dancers.
So this is another tip for you kids. Be in a style of which there are fewer people. You got better odds that the camera's going to show your face. I don't know. I was amused that when they got to the point where they were I guess they were getting it down to the final 20, so it was just a montage of people being told they were leaving. It was almost all of them, it was Vanessa telling them they were leaving, and I'm like, Is that insult to injury? That not only are you getting sent home, but you don't even get Nigel telling you you're sent home. You get Vanessa Hudgens telling you you're sent home. Very sweetly, but still, come on.
Right.
Give me a bit of cutting criticism on the way out, Nigel, so I'll know that I meant something, that I did something here.
Right.
Ay.
Yeah.
So, I was not happy about that little twist ending. I don't, even really get it.
No.
Can you just get on with the show already? Really? Yes. Do we need another... Hey.
Yeah, why do we need this? I don't get it.
Yeah, and it sure looked like Lindsay's sister is going home next week, because they cut from... somebody saying you're going home to her crying, on stage, like somebody's talking to her. So if that's a fake out, it's not a very nice fake out.
Well, they do that kind of fake out stuff all the time.
I trust that will be that. But I felt sorry for our underwear girl from last week. Clearly wearing clothes is a curse. Yes. She should have just stayed in her underwear. She had a number of very nice outfits this time, and she went home. And... boy, could they not have hammered on her harder. You were so good that one time, and now you stink.
And now what happens? You suck.
We know you can be better than this. And she's like, what?
I can? I don't know.
Are you saying I seem desperate? No. But, good luck, honey. Go back to neurobiology or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah. And she was the one.
Do this on the side for fun. That was brutal. That was very hard because it seemed like they just kept bringing her back to tell her how disappointed they were.
Yes.
Next time you better do better, and then the next time she didn't do better and say, you really disappointed us. Give us one more chance. And then it's when her last chance to connect with them was the huge group number. It's this is not going to work out well for her.
And I can't quite put my finger on, like, you know, we watch, when you watch the regular season, you know, not this audition process.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's going home every week.
Sure.
But why is it that, you know, this is just a part of the process that I don't want to see?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that we'll skip this. We'll start in a little later in the season. The next time. It just seems... It's, you know, there's so much that's going on in the background, and kids, you hardly ever see anything of it. It's just, so you're just going to see the ones that they love and the ones that they hate. And the hate is just so uncomfortable. There was one girl who they told, like, just kind of, I thought, kind of out of the blue, you're a shoo-in for the top 10. It's yours to lose. And I'm like, have we seen her before?
Right.
Or was she one of those
maybe
ones
we have during
weeping
the
in the
auditions.
background? Yeah. I don't remember them calling her out in the past. Yeah. So I guess she's just been quietly impressing them off camera. She peaked at a good time.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, well. So next week, I guess we have another week of the Academy, huh?
Guess so. Surprise!
Milking this. Do they have, wonder if they have a lesser number of weeks than usual? Oh, they certainly seem to be burning them off with this nonsense, but I guess if you eliminate 10 in 1 week, that saves you some time.
Yes.
But seems, well, I don't know that I'm necessarily all that attached to any of them, but it seems a little unfair. But as I say, I hope they told them all this ahead of time, and it's just...
Right.
You know,
and they just told them
when we say it.
Right.
I will tell myself that. I will believe that.
Good.
So that episode may have been a disaster for some of the dancers, and so we will move on to a disaster for the West Wing. Again, it's a theme of season 5. Terrible, no good, very bad days of the Bartlett White House. This is our theme for season 5. It's gonna... Shutdown is coming. I'm holding the faith. Episode 8, man. Episode 8. The mojo comes back. But it ain't back yet. So what did you think of Disaster Relief, Catherine? Were you relieved? Was there any relief in it for you? Or were you constantly just going, oh, poor Josh. Oh, Bartlett is so lost. Oh, Toby looks really unhappy. Oh, Will is with this bozo. Oh, no. Poor Margaret. Poor everybody.
I felt a little better for some reason about this one than the week before.
Well, yeah.
And I can't even really say why.
I think it's because the bleep has already hit the fan, so there's not that anticipation, that sort of like drop to your stomach anticipation at the end of that for Josh, of this, you know something bad is going to happen. It's already happened, and it just keeps getting worse, but it had kind of ended on kind of a hopeful note. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
That Josh has been exiled, but Donna brings him the little folder of good things to do,
right?
Which is, well, let's turn this into something good.
Yeah.
And the president does get on the plane and go back, even though he's not quite sure how he's going to lead. But, maybe it's just seems like a little bit of an uptick of hope towards the end there. By the way, I want a Donna. Where does one get a Donna? I want somebody who, when things go terribly in my life, takes care of me, makes sure that I will not be sitting alone in the restaurant, gives me worthwhile work to do, and just, meets me outside the gate and makes sure I don't humiliate myself in any variety of ways.
And just really anticipates your every need,
Yes.
Well,
yes,
before
in your moment
you do.
of horrifying shame.
Yes.
That is very sweet. And the way, I forgot why it was she was turning, what's the intern? Ryan away from his basketball game, but that was very nice. Staking out the place, waiting to find out if his boss needs rescue. That was very sweet. So there were some sweet gestures, and there were some, tiny little hopeful things. Maybe that's why it was less depressing.
Yeah. And the West Wing Weekly episode was interesting because we had 2 writers from the show. and they had good memories.
Yes.
Unlike some people who go on that show.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
And I also liked on the West Wing Weekly when they pointed out how many times Leo yelled, Margaret!
That was funny. He did indeed. And she, in addition to a Donna, I'll take a Margaret also.
Yes.
Anytime I need anything, I can yell. It must be so cathartic to yell for her and know that there will be no ramifications of that.
And she's always right there.
Pops right up with a concerned look on her face, not upset, not angry, ready to do your bidding.
Right.
Even if you had taken your frustration out on her by calling her name angrily. She understands. It's not about her.
That's right.
I need one of those. And I had forgotten that Terri O'Quinn replaced John Amos. I had forgotten all about that, but there he was.
Yeah.
The new chairman.
Yeah, and they never really said goodbye to Fitzwallace.
Yeah.
It was just like last week they were like, "Oh, we're getting a new guy."
Well, it must have been, as they said on the podcast, it must have been an availability thing that suddenly maybe he had another show or something to do, and so but he does make a return appearance by the end of the season. So, but it was nice seeing Terri O'Quinn there. And also, I don't know if you had this experience also, the woman who was like CJ's assistant out there in the disaster zone. I recognize, she's one of these people, I see her from time to time and I recognize her and I can never figure out where I recognize her from. Were you watching Grey's Anatomy at the time where Meredith and Derek were split up and she was dating Chris O'Donnell and he was dating some nurse?
No, because remember, I never watched any Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you never watched any Grey's Anatomy.
And we watched it for a challenge round.
We watched it for a challenge round, that's right. Anyway, she was in Grey's Anatomy. She was the nurse that McDreamy dated for a while. And
there you go.
She was extremely likable, except you knew she would have to go away because eventually Meredith and Derek are getting back together. So she just very chipperly. So every now and then I see her and I go, oh, it's that actress.
That nurse.
Lauren Stamile or Stamile. I don't know how to say her name. But anyway, she was very cute and, cutely exasperated by the many demands being made. But man, Bartlett was kind of losing it there for a while, I think.
Yes.
I understand how it would feel like you were actually doing something, whereas in politics in the White House, everything can feel like a lack of action in this. But at the same time, I mean, really, I think pot washing lady wanted to tell him, don't you have a job?
Yeah, I did like how she said he offered help, and she said that would just be embarrassing for both of us. Like, she's got a point.
Yes, very nice of you, sir. So, that was, hopefully that's going to turn the ship around a little bit there and maybe get him thinking about some things.
Or the tough love that CJ gave him.
Yes,
on Air
I
Force
liked that
One.
very much. Yes. Yeah, on the ground a little bit too. When she said, basically, you need to go first. You need to know that you go first. And also, you need to get in the plane and get out of here.
Right.
So she sort of took him in hand.
No more singing Kumbaya. Get your butt back on the plane.
Yes, sir. So hopefully things will be getting a little better. We get Angela Blake back from her last
was
scene
the parking garage.
Parking garage.
Yes.
And seems very happy to come on in and start working.
Right.
But,
to give up her corner office over in the park.
I'm going to imagine that she just took a leave of absence. That the corner office is being preserved.
Yes.
She's just going to go help for a little while, and then she's going to go back to the corner office. If she's
as smart as she seems, she will.
Yes. She seems pretty smart. But poor Josh. Yes, poor Josh.
Yes.
Drunkenly yelling at the Capitol building. Thank goodness no tabloids were nearby.
You're right. He's lucky.
What a lucky moment that was. No tourists with
or
cell
the
phones.
cab driver wasn't being, paid off by somebody.
Ryan could have filmed it on his phone to, just for leverage later on, but he was being all sorts of soulful and sweet. So anyway, hard times. We hope you pass by West Wing pretty soon, because it was interesting. A recurring theme now, I guess, on the West Wing Weekly podcast is people singing the praises of John Wells sort of to the sky. There was lots of the greatness of John on this episode.
Yes.
And, good for them. They worked with him. They liked him. They hope to work with him again, I'm sure. But sometimes you just want to say,
we get it. I guess there was quite a contrast. It seems like the writers have a lot more that they're able to do.
Yeah.
Now that Sorkin isn't there doing everything himself.
Right. It's kind of a delicate line to not be dissing the old way when you are praising the new way. I thought they crossed that line a little bit on this one. It was a little bit too much of, isn't this great now that we don't have one dude writing everything? Woo! So, some of us value those scripts. And you know what? There are times coming up when one infamous plot turn when very many people felt that characters weren't acting like themselves. So, it's coming. But so far, I guess they're doing okay. Except that everybody has the sad sack dial turned to 11.
Yeah.
There's just so much sad sackery. So, next week, separation of powers. At least there's no sadness or disaster in the title. So,
right. Power's in the title.
Yes, and also Matthew Perry is back. Sadly, not on the episode written by the Friends person, so.
Maybe she wouldn't be able to write for him.
Maybe not.
As not Chandler.
It's possibly not. He would be quipping right and left, and people would be going, what is the matter with you?
What is happening?
Haven't you heard we're all sad? When you were here before, we were happy, but then you got the vice president out, everything fell apart.
Right, and it's all your fault.
It's all your fault, so go away with your quips and your little jokes. We interrupt this podcast to remind you to please consider the free Radio Public app for all your Parenting Roundabout listening needs. If you listen to our podcast on the app, we'll get paid a little for each listen and more if you listen a lot.
It's a great way to financially support our podcast without having to actually spend, money. Now on to our challenge round.
Speaking of disaster, sort of the theme of the second half of our podcast here, because our challenge round this week was the pilot for Royal Pains, and that starts also with a pretty big disaster for the lead character. Perhaps, if possible, a greater disaster than that which befell Josh, but certainly as career denting.
It appeared to completely kill his career at first, and it lost him his fiancée, but she was too shallow.
No great loss there. Yeah. She looks like the casting call for that was really, really pretty girl that you won't feel too bad when you don't see her anymore.
When she goes away forever.
She was like, she did not make that good of an impression. And quite a contrast from the hospital administrator we meet later, who will be his love interest for a while.
Yeah.
Until that actress decides she wants to do something else. But so inconvenient.
Yeah, come on, guys.
People want to leave shows.
That's how we lose
Stop that.
Fitzwallace.
Yeah, presumably, yeah. But, so his whole career. And I like that. I had forgotten just exactly how it started. I knew that it was something about that there was a hospital donor who he, in some way, was responsible for that person dying. But I had forgotten the pickup basketball game and how he, we saw right from the very beginning the kind of medical MacGyvering that he does. Right. That is the hallmark of the show.
And I did like that they actually called out, like, are you MacGyver? Later on in the episode, because he's definitely...
You kind of have to touch that reference. Yeah. Because that's so... But it's fun. It's so fun to see him doing different things, putting the ice packs and the gym bags and all that stuff.
Right.
And understandable.
I need a pen.
What was it with the kid? You needed a pen and a bottle of vodka and some plastic bags. And,
right. Yes.
And, fortunately, in the Hamptons, apparently, getting a bottle of vodka is never going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But, Anyway, it was really fun watching it again. My husband and I watched it, and we're saying, "Oh, I remember this part," or "Oh, I don't remember this part." And the character of Divya, who's the physician's assistant, looks extremely different in the first episode than she does. She's much more Tahani-y later on in my mind. But she looked so, I don't know, the ponytail and the suit and stuff. And it's like, oh, is that how she started? Okay.
Well, I enjoyed her and just her, like... take no prisoners.
Yes.
Like, I already have the SUV that's basically a mobile emergency room, and, you know, I have a name, but, like, everything, she's... Yes. I don't know, she was funny.
It's just, he's immediately sucked into this job that he doesn't even know exists, much less wanted.
Right.
But, you know, he takes to it pretty well. It seems to fit his skill set.
Yes, and it's sort of like, it's like Murder, She Wrote or something that, like, you know, medical emergencies just crop up wherever he is.
Hey, I heard you saved somebody at a party. Why don't you come on over?
Because I have a feeling I'm about to...
And he's good in life and death, and he's good when you're, you know, have plastic surgery accident and you're feeling a little uneven. Either way, he's good to go. Clever guy.
That one, I was surprised that the patient was satisfied with his solution, which was to even her out by flattening both sides instead of inflating. Well, the deflated I guess since
she had to get a custom bag, it's not possible to reproduce the other one, but yeah, she's a recurring character, Christine Ebersole.
As a frequent flyer medical person.
Mm-hmm. It's really a pretty looking show. All these grand, ridiculous parties, and pretty people. Not so many bikinis as in Burn Notice, though. Most of them keep their clothes on. We respect that, except Evan, like walking around his hotel room in his underwear.
He says there's two beautiful women in the bathroom waiting for me. Unclear why they were both in the bathroom, but okay.
Yes. Did he stage that? Oh, Hank is here. Quick, run into the bathroom.
Go in the bathroom. Like, I don't understand how that... What's going on there?
Oh, perhaps the model was feeling a little ill and Divya was gonna, you know, physician assist her.
Right.
I'm sure that was it.
She was ready. She's a trip. Divya, she's fun.
Yes, she is very fun, and she's a good character. Her styling changed at some point. A lot of things changed. The opening theme song is in the whole opening theme montage that I'm used to was not on this one. I don't know why, and the music I think it got a little cheerier. I don't know. That seemed like a lot of the stuff was very heavy. But
contemporary, you know, like they were using a lot of real songs instead of just like under the radar music score kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember how the rest of it goes, but I know the intro is for the succeeding episodes is very different.
Well, now that they've established that this is
what I remember. Yes, now that they've established the backstory. And now from now on, it just goes to medical cases of the week. Pretty standard.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. Just kind of goofy and silly, but also just fun. And that whole McGyver element, I always enjoy that sort of thing.
And then there's sort of the ongoing mystery element of Boris and what exactly his thing is and what sorts of things he's going to require for them living there. And I don't know. Well, it was fun to watch. And now you've seen quite a few of those USA procedurals, which all have sort of certain common slant, sort of taking a typical thing and putting a spin on it.
Fun little spin to them.
So what's up for our next challenge?
So you had noticed that, I think it was on Amazon Prime, Lady Bird, Oscar winner, is, I believe it was an Oscar winner?
It was one of those many nominations, no wins.
Okay. I believe. But, you know, movie that...
We'll have our crack staff of researchers check that before the next episode.
Momentarily. But this was one of those extremely acclaimed movies that came out right before the Oscars and begged for our attention. And
we did not give it.
We did not give it then, but we're going to give it now.
all
like
right,
it
we'll
or
watch
not.
Now that it's completely over its words run and nobody's talking about it anymore, that's when we watch
That's
it.
the time for us to talk about it. That's the way we
Swoop
roll.
in.
So we're going to watch Lady Bird for next week. And it will give me a chance to show off once again that I know how to say Saoirse Ronan.
Excellent. Whenever that actress's name comes up, I'm just going to defer to you. So so keep alert.
You can just call her Lady Bird if you want.
Ms. Ronan. I shall call her like the Times. Works. I'll be like the Times.
Yes. Good idea.
That chick, the young chick. What's her name? All right.
The Irish
anyway. Yeah, right. With a weird name. That's who I mean. Okay, so we will watch that. We will watch the West Wing episode Separation of Powers, otherwise known as the episode before the episode Terry's been waiting for.
Right.
And another episode of So You Think You Can Dance. And that is going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so that you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.